How you doing? You had a good week? Yeah?
I had a good week.
Did you?
Except for the rain.
Oh, the rain's been horrible. It's like, if you've been in your car, it's been like...
Oh, yeah, it has, hasn't it? And there's loads of puddles everywhere. Have you been jumping in the puddles?
Nice. Yeah, it's good fun. I tell you, I'm excited.
For the episode? I'm really excited for the episode too. I'm always excited for Kids Church episode.
No. I'm excited for school this week. I'm going back to school this week.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You're too old. He's too old for school, isn't he?
I work in a school, thank you very much.
Of course you do work. I bet you're going back to school soon, aren't you?
Are you excited? Some. Well,
Bet you're looking at getting shoes, uniforms, pens, pencils, books.
Haircut maybe.
Haircuts, oh
Make
gosh.
sure I'm looking smart.
Yeah.
And it's been nice because I had 6 weeks off. Nice holiday. We've been able to go camping, all that kind of stuff. So it's been really good. But now it's time to go back to school.
It is time.
Yeah. And which reminds me actually, Sam last week was talking about going back to school, wasn't he?
He was, wasn't he? He was quite nervous.
Yeah.
So there's going to be lots of changes, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we must go and visit Sam a bit later and find out how he's feeling now.
Yeah.
But first, shall we have a song?
Oh yeah, what song should we sing?
Shall we sing a really dancey one?
A really dancey one. Does that mean we need to warm up first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, show me how.
So, limber up everybody.
Oh, stretches, okay.
Bit stretching.
Up you get, come on. This means everyone that's watching, not just the children. Up you
And the
get.
adults, yeah. Right, shake it down. Right.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We're good.
Okay.
We're good, yeah.
I'm ready.
Right, let's go.
Do it.
Play a little bit of guitar and then face your partner. Here we go. God can do anything at all. God can do anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything don't put him in a box. Don't put him in a box. Don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box. Don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. God can do anything at all. God can do anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything at all. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. God can do anything at all. God can do anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything at all. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Really fast. God can do anything at all. God can do anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything don't put him in a box. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Give me a hand wave. Yeah. Bit of guitar to finish. Is there somewhere? And then check this out.
I suppose you think you're clever singing that fast. That's not fast. This is fast. Don't put him in the box and shove him in the corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in the box and shove him in the corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Yeah. Let's see you beat that then, clever pants.
Oh, good job.
Smash that
That was
one.
a good song. Well
Well done,
done,
guys.
everybody.
Good job. Oh!
Oh, that was at the same time. That was good. Okay, story time.
Oh, yeah. So what's it about this week?
Well, today's story is all about someone called
Ruth.
Ruth. No, it's Ruth.
Oh, Ruth!
The story's all about Ruth. So remember last week's story?
About the strong Samson.
Strong man.
Yeah.
And do you remember what Samson's job was? Because, you know, we've been following the story of the Israelites, haven't we? All the way from Egypt to now.
I can't remember. Was he doing something with sheep and cows?
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No. Samson was a judge.
Ah, yes.
And remember I said that Israelites never had a king, did they? They had Moses, which was their leader, and he became a judge.
Yeah.
And then Samson was one of the judges. So
Yeah.
whenever, because, you know, classic Israel, like we've been saying, is always trusting
Yeah,
sometimes, not trusting sometimes, trusting again, and then not trusting again.
Yeah.
All the time. And when they got themselves into a bit of trouble when they weren't trusting, God would send a new judge to help them sort themselves out. And that was Samson. And remember, he did that
Yes.
because he destroyed the Philistines, which were the people that were trying to get into their land, which God promised them.
Yep.
So, during that time, there was lots of different judges. There was a judge called Deborah.
Did they call her Debbie?
Maybe. There was someone called Gideon.
Oh.
So there was lots of different judges. But during that time, we find the story of Ruth, which she has her own very special book in the Bible.
Does she? A whole book to
Story,
herself?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this happened during the time of the judges, and something awful was happening to Israel at that point. There was a famine. Do you know what famine means?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it in the Joseph
We
story
did.
as well,
Do you
didn't we?
remember what it
It's
means?
when there's they have no food and all the food
Exactly.
died.
There
Yeah.
was no food, so there wasn't enough rain, so nothing grew, and they couldn't eat any food. So that happened in Israel. And I think I'll save the rest of the history for after the story. Is that okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want to spoil what happens.
Right.
So there might be a few words in the story that you don't understand,
You're
but
going to
we'll
explain them
talk to them
afterwards.
about
Okay.
them afterwards.
I'm pleased about that.
But yeah, so we'll find out what happens to Ruth, and then
Yes.
we'll talk more. And Sam, we need to find out how he's feeling about school.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Over to you, Sam and Hayley.
Hi, Hayley.
Oh, hi Sam, you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. But remember last week,
Hmm.
and we were talking about the fact that I go to school, well, now just a week away,
Yeah.
and I was really scared, and you told me the story of Samson and said how God would give me strength to go to school, so I'm not scared anymore.
Good.
But I was wondering, how am I going to make friends? And how do I know if they're going to be good friends at school?
There's some really good questions, Sam. Do you know what? I've got a really good Bible story about friendship.
Brilliant.
Can I tell it to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's in a book of the Bible called Ruth. And it goes something like this. A famine came to Israel. Elimelech, Naomi, and their sons went to Moab to find food. Elimelech died. The sons married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. Then the sons died too. The three women had no husbands. When the famine in Israel was over, Naomi decided to go home. Stay in Moab, she said to her daughters-in-law. It's your home. Orpah stayed, but Ruth said, wherever you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Together, Ruth and Naomi went back to Israel. It was harvest time in Israel. Naomi told Ruth to gather the bits of grain left behind in a field. The field belonged to Boaz, Elimelech's relative. Boaz approached Ruth. You were very kind to Naomi, Boaz said. Leaving home must have been hard. May God bless you. He gave Ruth food and told his workers to watch over her. Ruth told Naomi what had happened. Naomi smiled. When someone dies, his closest relative cares for his family. That person is their kinsman redeemer. Boaz is our kinsman redeemer. Stay close to him. So Ruth stayed close to Boaz. He liked her more each day. Boaz bought Elimelech's land and took care of Naomi and Ruth. Then he asked Ruth to marry him. Ruth had a son called Obed. Obed's son was Jesse. Jesse's son was David. And David became Israel's greatest king. So God blessed Ruth just as Boaz had prayed.
Whoa, that's a great story. And Ruth was a great friend to Naomi.
She was.
Yeah, I hope I can make friends like that when I go to school. And I know I'll be a good friend like that to all my friends.
I bet you will. And do you know what else is that God is our friend too. So whenever we're worried, especially when we're going to school, God is always with us and he is a good friend too.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I best go now. Gotta get ready for school.
Yeah, I hope it goes well.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was a good story, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. And just incredible how Naomi and Ruth and their friendship and how Boaz stepped in. And wow, it was just a great story. I really enjoyed that.
It was really good, wasn't it? And you know how I said I was going to explain a little bit more of the history?
Yeah.
Do you think you know what word I was talking about when I said there's a tricky word?
Don't know. Do you remember? Oh, was it that kinsman
Redeemer.
redeemer?
Kinsman redeemer. Now that was a tricky word I meant.
Yeah.
And Hayley explained it a little bit in the story, didn't she?
Mm.
But that's really important for our story. Because Naomi had to leave because of the famine, because there was no food. And then everything went wrong and she ended up with her daughters-in-law with her. And it's really amazing that Ruth stayed with her. And do you know why?
No.
Because Israel was like really, really ancient. Like the Israel we're talking about
Yeah.
was a really ancient people.
Like, you know, back in the Victorian times.
No, further.
Tudors?
Further.
Medieval?
Even further than that.
Oh!
The Israel we're talking about is ages and ages and ages ago.
Wow.
And they did things a lot differently to how we do it now.
Okay.
As you can imagine,
Yeah.
like, we do things a lot differently than medieval times.
Yeah.
So, they did things differently, which means that these women would have been on their own. They would have either had to go back to their father's house or they would have had to just survive. And it would have been really, really difficult for them. So the fact that Ruth chose to stay, even though that was the case, and even though she wasn't an Israelite.
Yeah.
Do you remember how I said the Israelites were very, kept together, didn't they? Because they believed in God, but everybody else believed in different gods.
Yeah.
So Ruth chose to stay with Naomi, even though she didn't even really believe in the God.
Right.
Well, not yet, anyway.
Mm.
She didn't really believe in the God. She didn't really come from those people. But she still chose to go with Naomi. And then Boaz comes in, and he is our kinsman redeemer. So he was
coming in to save the day.
Yeah, he was a relative of somehow a relative, and it was his job to take care of that family.
Yes.
And he did. He stepped in there and he married Ruth, which meant that they could be safe and they could have food and they were okay.
Yeah. What an incredible story.
It is, isn't it?
And a good story of friendship as well. And Sam was talking about about friendships when he goes back to school and stuff as well.
He was. Now, we're going to talk about that a bit more in a minute.
Okay.
Is that alright?
All
But firstly, I have a game for you.
Oh, I love a game.
Do you want to stand up?
I'd love to stand up.
Okay.
Are you going to play at
You
home
can
as well?
join too.
Yeah.
So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a word,
Yep.
and then you have to think of the word that comes after that.
Okay.
It's like the first thing that comes to your mind, and we use these things, or we talk about these things all the time, so it will be really easy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Okay, the first one I'm going to say is salt and
Pepper.
yes,
Pepper. Did you get that?
salt and pepper.
Good job. Good
Where
job.
do you see these?
In the kitchen.
Yeah, they're always on the
Yeah,
table
yeah.
as well, aren't
Oh,
they?
yeah, yeah.
Like to put on your food. So
Yeah.
salt and pepper, that's our first pair. Okay, now next pair. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Tea. Would you like a tea or a
What do you think? Oh, coffee. Coffee.
tea or coffee?
Yep.
We always say that, don't we?
Yep.
You might not really drink it yet, but grown-ups do, don't they? They always have tea or coffee.
Yep. I'll have a bit of coffee. I'll take that. Thank you.
All right. Okay, the next one is behind my back. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Knife and what else do you eat with? If you just cut, how do you get the food to your mouth?
Spoon.
Do you cut your food and then put it on a spoon to get it to your mouth?
It might do.
Maybe. I guess it depends what food it is.
What do you think? Oh, fork. Yeah, fork.
Knife and fork. They
Yeah,
go
yeah.
together, don't they?
Yep.
Hold it there, cut it, and then put it in your mouth.
Yes.
And sometimes it goes with a spoon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because spoons for dessert.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. How about hide and
Seek.
Yes! I bet you play that game all the time. Okay, let me think of another one. Fish and...
Chips! Love fish and chips.
Yes! We have that on Fridays, don't we?
Oh yeah, fish and chip Friday.
Okay, can you think of one, Phil?
Face.
Face. Face wash?
No. Something at the moment that you're having to wear when you go to the shop.
What do you have to wear when you go to the shop? Face mask!
Yes, yeah. Like this.
Yay!
Face mask.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So all of these different things. So we've got, let me just show you all the things that we've got. Phil's stolen the coffee, so where's that? We've got salt and pepper, we've got tea and coffee, knife and fork.
Mhm.
All of these are always paired together, aren't they? You don't really see just the pepper on its own, do you?
No.
You don't always ever see a knife just by itself
Not
at the
really.
table, do you?
No. Not if you're going to eat dinner.
And if you go to a coffee shop, they don't really say, oh, which tea do you want? They give you the option, don't they? Tea or coffee. It's like they're always together. You can take that off now. It's okay.
Come on, thanks.
They're always together, but are they the same? Does salt taste the same as pepper? Would you
No.
put loads of pepper on your chips?
No.
No, but they taste different, don't they?
Yes.
But yeah, they go together.
Mm.
So does the knife and fork do the same job?
No.
But you always use them together, don't you?
Mm.
It's very interesting, and that was kind of like Naomi and Ruth. They were
I
really
see.
good friends, and they stayed together, but they were from completely different places.
Right.
Different families, different gods, like I said, but they chose to stick together. Which is amazing friendship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you have that with your friends.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that are like really different from you?
Oh, I've got lots of friends
Yeah.
that are different.
They
from
might
me.
like different things.
Yeah.
They might come from a different place. They might have different families, different traditions, whatever. But you can still be really good friends, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the thing that Ruth did that made her and Naomi really good friends? I'll give you a clue.
Came together.
They stayed together, didn't they?
Yes.
And that's what a really good friend does, isn't it?
Yeah. And even though perhaps it was a bit difficult and hard for them to stay together, she still did it. Wow.
Absolutely. So I think that can kind of help us when we're going to school, can't it? Like with Sam.
Mm.
Like you can think about, the friends
Yes.
that you maybe already know, or maybe the friends that you're going to meet.
Yeah. And how important it is that even though you're different, that you can still be friends, and that's awesome.
Definitely. So that's an exciting thing about
Yeah,
school,
absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Meeting new friends or meeting old friends, and you can be really good friends to each other.
Yeah.
But even if things go wrong, even if there's bullying, or even if people say something nasty, even then, do you know who is always our friend?
Jesus.
Yeah, which might sound really weird because we can't really see him, can we?
No, but
But
we
we
know he's
can-
always there.
But we can always talk to him, and he will always be our friend no matter what happens with other friends, because we're not perfect. We talked about that before, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're not perfect. We can try and be the best friend that we can be and stick by our friends like Naomi did. But sometimes we do mess up.
Absolutely.
And it's good to know that we always have a friend in Jesus, and he never changes and he never messes up.
Yeah. Cool.
So, shall we do a memory verse?
I think so. I think it's about time for memory verse.
All right, let's see if we can remember this so we can remember to be a really good friend.
Let's do it.
Hey kids, back on our week's memory verse. This week, taken from Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16. Goes a little something like this. Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God will
Are you ready to get silly? Okay, up on your feet. As always, let's wiggle it out. Come on, spin around and wiggle. Okay, we're ready to get silly. Now, today, I am going to sing a song about my good friend, Tony Chestnut. Now, my friend Tony, I just need him to know that I love him, okay? That's what we're going to sing about today. And what I need you to do to help me out is to do some actions, okay? So it goes like this. Okay, we're going to sing about toe, and we're going to touch our toes. Toe, knee, chest, nut. Okay, that's going to help you remember the name of my friend, right? Let's try that again. Ready? Toe, knee, chest, nut. Then nose, I love him. Okay? Are you going to help me make sure my friend Tony knows I love him? All right. Ready? Let's give it a try. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. Okay, good job. Let's try it a bit faster this time. You ready? Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. A bit faster now. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. A bit faster now. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. A bit faster now. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. A bit faster now. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. A bit faster now. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. That's what Tony knows. Tony Chestnut knows I love him. Tony Chestnut knows I love him.
Hey guys, welcome to the prayer corner. So it's time to get yourself nice in your comfy space and grab whatever you want to do prayer. So I'm going to grab the blocks today because I fancy just playing around with some blocks. So today we've just been thinking about friendship and what it means to be a friend, and we've talked about the story of Ruth and Naomi and what it meant for them and how they became really good friends. And they stood by each other even in the hardest of times. So today we're just going to think about a little bit about that and what that means. So here's questions. I wonder, what was your favourite part of the story? Why? I wonder, do you think Ruth made the right decision by staying by Naomi? Why? I wonder, can you think of a time when it would have been easier for you to leave rather than sticking by a friend during a hard time? sometimes it's not easy for us to stick by friends, particularly when it's tough and when other people perhaps are taking the mickey out of us at school and stuff like that. But we know that we have the best friend in Jesus, and he is going to stay by us no matter what is going on in our lives. So I want you just to think about your best friends and who they are, and perhaps think about what you could do to better help them. What is it that perhaps you could do when you go back to school to help them when it's a bit different? And we can ask Jesus to help us. So I'm going to pray just now for us. Dear God, we thank you that you are our best friend, and no matter what, we can always rely on you being there. And Father, I just pray that when we go to school and when we see our friends, that you'll help us to be really good friends, and that we will be able to help our friends and look after our friends like you look after us. Be with us as we go back to school this week, I pray. Amen. Well, we hope you have an awesome week. See you next week. Bye. What?
There is a place for me in heaven, a beautiful truth I can't believe it. This great thing I know, the Savior's on the throne. There's more to this life, it's supernatural. I'll set my heart on things eternal. This great thing I know, the Bible tells me so. He's coming back for those who know him. Nobody knows the hour or moment. We will see his face, his amazing grace. Tears will be gone, there'll be no worry. Light in his presence and his glory. We will see his face, wonderful embrace. Heaven, heaven, forever is our home. Heaven, heaven, forever is our home. Heaven, heaven, forever is our home. Forever is our home. Forever is our home. Heaven, forever is our home. Heaven, forever is our home. Heaven, forever is our home. Forever is our home.
Can't find where Phil's gone. He disappeared after prayers, and I don't know. Oh, I think I know where he's gone. Yeah, I can hear. He's making a coffee. He's stolen the coffee, and he's made a coffee. Phil, come back! Phil,
Mm-hmm.
are you making a coffee?
No.
I think you have made a coffee. You've drunk it as well, haven't you?
I didn't
You
make-
look really awake.
I didn't make one coffee.
He looked
I didn't
really
make one
awake,
coffee.
doesn't he?
Mm.
So he didn't have tea, he had coffee.
I had more than one coffee.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be awake all night? Okay, good.
I'll be ready for work then on Tuesday.
Well, I hope you have a really good week
Yeah.
back at school. Don't drink coffee because you end up like this. But I hope you have a really good week at school. I hope you have a good time with your friends. Remember to be a good friend, and if you're scared or worried, always remember that you have Jesus.
Amen, sister.
Oh gosh, okay. See you next week.